activate lecture mode here. Okay, we've got a 24-minute webinar. I'm Mike Hamilton, our manager of Unified Communications here at Evolve IP, responsible for voice applications, anything really from the handset, working it all the way back to the core in our network and what we deliver to the desktop. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Those of you joining us, we are working today on CRM integration. No longer is this a nice to have, but CRM integration is a topic that comes up on a large majority of the deals that Evolve IP is working on. And oftentimes we use this as a differentiating factor when trying to separate Evolve IP from the competition. Okay. We like to understand the customer's environment, ask a few qualifying questions about Microsoft, Google, web browsers that they use, and what CRM applications they actually use. And then they start to fit into a few different categories. You can now see my screen, and what I'll show is there's three different distinct approaches that we use to CRM integration. For those with a Google environment and using the Chrome browser, it's optimal. Platform level automation, and we work with a partner, gUnify. Okay. We've done significant testing over the course of about 6 months before we brought that product to market. And so therefore, actually as they launch into new CRM applications, they began with Salesforce.com, then into Zendesk, then into Clio. The automated level and the call logging that gets written directly into those CRMs is a huge plus and a benefit. Our next approach is the Microsoft environment. Many businesses that are a Microsoft environment are slowly adopting Chrome, but in some cases they refuse to implement it entirely due to the heavy nature of the browser. So this application, in partnering with Go Integrator, allows us to reach a large, vast majority of the market with the Microsoft operating system. And the application is highly configurable and reaches more than 20 desktops. And the third and final approach would be you have a CRM that maybe we don't integrate with utilizing Go Integrator or gUnify, or you do and you're looking for some additional enhancements to what can be offered out of the box. So we've got the API. BroadSoft offers their own. We pass that on, and that's done well for us over the years. However, to take things to the next level this summer, we're going to be offering our own API, which cuts out a lot of the excess chatter and really gets it down to what the few features that are commonly asked about over and over with the different CRMs that allows customers to write to their own. So with the gUnify application targeting the Chrome environment, primarily our Salesforce users are really getting after this environment, and secondarily the Zendesk. We do have a Clio customer on us today, which is a legal CRM, gaining slower adoption in that industry. But as that comes up to market, we expect this, that specific application to ramp up. But with Salesforce, you'll see those features and benefits. We're going to give you a demonstration of it. All right. Next would be with Go Integrator, the Microsoft environment. This allows us to hit more than 20 different CRMs and lets you configure it to your contacts to do, quote unquote, screen pops, whether the call gets answered, missed, inbound, outbound, totally up to you, as well as provide different call control options. So the benefits to CRM integration, three common themes that comes up over and over. Number one is the productivity. Users take the time to manually search contacts, leads, accounts, records, look up information while they're speaking with a client on the phone, and usually they're either put on hold or it just takes 30 seconds to a minute while they access that information, rather than do it when looking up the caller ID information. Next is the end user adoption. If it lives as a secondary app and it doesn't automatically pop CRM information for them, it won't get utilized. So here we can drive the end user adoption because the technology does the work for them. And third is the reporting and analytics. When you allow your CRM to be that single point of reference, now you want to start to drive the aspects of how long does it take you when you run campaigns and when you do certain actionable events to follow up with phone calls to contacts, and can you report off of that and start to draw conclusions of what's successful for your business and what's not. Okay. We've got a Salesforce Demo lined up for you. That's going to utilize the Chrome browser. The feature functionality that you see there would translate over into Zendesk and Clio. Much like when we run the Salesforce Demo here showing the Go Integrator application, we run Salesforce internally here at Evolve. I can't show 25 different demonstrations because I can't buy CRMs and do production environments like I can Salesforce. All right. Anybody attending the demo today, existing customers, we're going to offer a 30% discount for anybody that looks to utilize these applications, and we can also provide trials so that you can set it up in your environment and actually have a few users play around with the application and understand exactly what it can do for them. All right. With that said, we'll go right into the demonstrations, and I will show you the Salesforce integration utilizing the Chrome environment. We've worked in the back-end platform on the XSI and the protocols and events that take place between us and the G-Unified platform, and that's what allows us to enhance things here with the Chrome environment when users are actually working remotely, maybe using calls from their cell phone, from the UC1 application, or potentially like a Berea soft client, or some SIP application that's connected to our platform. So what I'll first show you here is inside of my Salesforce instance, the lower left-hand corner, you'll see phone numbers down here. Anything that's a phone number now will have a green handset icon next to it for click to dial. So immediately we'll provide the benefit of easy outgoing calls. Are you sure you want to call? Okay. That's going to go ahead and set up our outgoing click to dial. I'll answer using a soft client and just tuck that off to the side. Now what you'll see is a screen pop in front of you, and it's going to look up the caller ID information. Certainly we have a match because it's outgoing. On the incoming side, expect the exact same functionality, and we can lob an incoming call in here in just a second. When there's a match in Salesforce, much like any other CRM, it's going to look at what would be classified as a contact, or it could also be a lead, or given a different terminology based on your CRM application. When there's a match, it wants to provide you various functionality. So first and foremost, I have easy pop-out functionality to navigate directly over to the contact within Salesforce and go ahead and look up information on that contact. And now while I'm speaking with Michael Hamilton, I can actually gather information about his account, opportunities, cases, whatever it may be within your CRM, and in this case Salesforce, to knowledgeably speak with Michael about his account. I can also search accounts because it's related to accounts right here. Within Salesforce, since Michael's recognized as a contact, I could also look up cases, which would be associated in other CRMs as tickets, or opportunities with his account. And then I could search out those recent opportunities to go ahead and access information and associate this call with Michael. So very easily done. I'll associate it and search on the Evolve account. And you'll see I get a few matches here. I can check the box on the first one. I'll also end the call while I'm active here. And you'll see that it actually gives my call duration at the top and when it was actually released. Okay. We've got this configured based on different time zones, so certainly we would reflect your time zone there at the top. I can use the pop-out button. However, if I have just a second, 24 minutes, webinar. Go ahead and make a subject line. These tags, we'll give you a few of them out of the gate. However, as you type your own tag and hit enter, after utilizing those more than 5 times, these tags will now be custom for your environment, so you can easily select them, just like I have Unified Communications in Demo. And I'll go ahead and save that. Now that I've saved that record, just to prove that it works, we'll use the pop-out button. That'll now navigate over to the account. And in Salesforce, If we were in Zendesk, you could look up ticket information and see that call record. It's automatically populated. So if it was Clio, it would be matters in the legal industry. If you give it just a second, as we have between 700,000 and 1 million leads and contact records within our instance of Salesforce, you would expect your performance to be a little better when it navigates down to this information. If I do this, I'll refresh my contact screen as well. And so I can show you essentially two views. Number one, underneath the contact, as I scroll all the way down, I realize it's a little fast for you. And the rest in the activity history, now you see the record here. It's a call, outbound, 24-minute webinar, and it populates all that call information. It's underneath the contact. Because I selected the account information, now that I select the Evolve IP account on my other tab, like I did, I can scroll down underneath the activity record, and the activity history down here, to now show that that record's also populated here. Many businesses share contacts and records across groups or departments of the organization, so I don't want my colleagues contacting Mike Hamilton here if there's a recent record as of 5 minutes ago that I was speaking with. You would expect the exact same functionality on the incoming call side. So as I receive an incoming call, it's going to go ahead and get a match on the caller ID information. And I can go ahead and click to answer that call.
You're saying it pretty good, right?
All right. Now that I've got the call log window up in front of me and a match, I can go ahead and perform the exact same feature functionality. If you give me just a second, I want to stop sharing my screen. I had a report from somebody that my screen was showing up black for them, so I want to go ahead and refresh that for just a second. Good. Okay. And now we've go ahead and reinitiated that so that users can actually see my screen. And I'm getting a thumbs up here that the users can see my screen. Good. Okay. So I'll go ahead and close that window out, just showing and demonstrating there that on the inbound side, you would expect the same functionality as I did with the click to dial to go ahead and log the calls here. Just another piece of feature functionality that's important for users. I've got something configured as a panel. You have easy access to this by clicking in the extension in the top right here. This will pull up my call history here. And I've got access to all of the different call records, and you'll see the check mark next to those that were logged. Anytime there's a single instance or a match, it automatically gets logged, whether you go ahead and utilize that call log window to go ahead and update notes here. It still gets populated into the activity history. As you can see here, this one didn't automatically get populated. You see select a match because there were 3 different records on this number that wants to go ahead and have you select the right contact record. Really handy, like I say, if you use a soft client from a mobile device, those get automatically logged. So what you've seen right there, just to recap, is it's optimized through the Chrome browser, and this will target Salesforce.com integration, Zendesk integration, and Clio. With those 3 CRMs, we can automatically log these calls directly into those CRMs. Now you can utilize the reporting structure from them to go ahead and actually capture the data that you wish to report upon and analyze based on performance for employee review. Could also be exactly when you're running campaigns, the amount of calls and follow-up that it takes place to go ahead and generate appointments and ultimately close activity. If you'll give me just a second, what I'll do is I'll transition now away from working and partnering with gUnify to launch through the Chrome browser, and I will now activate the Go Integrator application. so that you can see an app that installs natively on the Microsoft desktop and provides integration with more than 20 different CRMs to our platform. Okay. As this application launches, what I'll mention is I've got this configured so that once I actually connect and activate a call, that's when I'll get my screen pop going into Salesforce. When I mentioned customizable based on user preferences, you could have that take place anytime a call hits your desk, whether you answer it or not. It would then stack up for you any missed calls. You can go ahead and contact them back. You could have it do it so that it's only outgoing calls or only incoming calls. In front of you, what I'll pull up is a configuration menu. So the most easy and foremost connection is directly back to our platform. Many of you will be familiar with our web application credentials, whether you've used the same credentials to log into our Osmosis personal portal, the Evolved Office Assistant toolbar, UC1 application, any type of voice app that's connecting back to our platform, you would have your username and your web password here. Most of you would have this as your phone number, okay? With our link integration that we had done at the enterprise link server level, we have our Active Directory domains here in sync with our browser. Once you connect this information back to our platform, the server's embedded into the application. It'll go ahead and light up green in your system tray that you're online and you're getting voice responses from our platform. From there, you now need to configure the application to do the integration that you would like. So along the left-hand column, you see integration, and I can click Add New underneath the two that I have configured. And you'll gain a sense of all the different CRMs that we can natively talk to with this application. Some of the most popular are ConnectWise, Act, Sage, Sugar, Salesforce for those that don't implement it through the Crm environment, Zoho, and probably Microsoft Dynamics, both in the CRM and the nav environment, are your most popular here. All right. You can also have it, as I do, look up against your Outlook contacts, and those utilizing Google Chrome or Gmail, you have it look at their Google contacts also. When you select the CRM, it'll then ask you for the configuration parameters to connect to that CRM. And those adapt based on which one you choose. So I won't select the Microsoft Dynamics because we don't run this internally here. Next would be call events. And this is where you'll see call connected. I have my parameters here set up so that it's call connected. My direction is all calls that are external to the organization. And you would need to input the exact parameters when talking with your CRM to go ahead and do that lookup. So those vary based on each customer instance. Pretty easy to typically run a search within your CRM and find those parameters. Other simple options you have within these activities. One thing to note for those interested in Microsoft Lync or Office 365 integration, it's available natively within this application to populate phone presence. I won't go off on a sidebar or a tangent here, but when I send out contact information and a follow-up after this webinar, if that's something of interest for you, you can simply check this box and you also get that integration as well. Now that I have my application configured, we can actually show it in action. So in the lower right-hand corner, you'll see my screen pop. And I can manually click on the Salesforce icon in the lower right-hand corner, or I could just go ahead and answer my screen because I have the event configured to go ahead and look up the contact once I actually answer the call. Now I can navigate based on the CRM using the links to either the account or the contact information and go ahead and already start to speak intelligently with Michael about his account, opportunities, or cases that are relevant to him while I'm on the phone and not have to take the time to use search menus, get results, and then manually drive down to the module within Salesforce that I'm looking for. As that takes place, I do have call control here, so it's important that I can still be able to hang up, hold, conference, you name it. I have my full call control here, and this works with either my soft client that I'm utilizing right here of UC1, or you're sitting next to your desk phone, so you can easily hang up and go ahead and end that call. So the difference is, what this will do is set up the action or the activity for the user to go ahead and navigate and perform the function they want within the CRM. Add activity records, look up account information, and go ahead and utilize the CRM as your system of record. What it won't do, as opposed to the gUnify and the Crm integration, is actually write the automated call logging in there. Some other feature functionality built natively within the application is presence. So this will pull up a different screen which you can dock off to the side. It's going to want to go ahead and ping our voice platform and go ahead and look up the phone presence of all the users within our organization. Right? Anybody that's either on hook or available, and other users would show up gray if they don't actually have a phone connected to the endpoint that's listed there, such as a hunt group or an auto attendant. Could also be a conference bridge. I'll go ahead and place one more incoming call. One thing to note, when I mention configurable, I get that screen pop. Many users actually want to be able to click on the Salesforce icon and manually pop that contact. And it's important to understand why that feature functionality is configurable, because many users are typing an email and they prefer it not to automatically pop a contact in front of them, in which they would then trail right off the email into the contact record. So they can go ahead and manually click that record and now pop open a new tab within their browser. This typically works best with IE. Since my default browser in my Windows environment is Chrome, it wants to pop the contacts in Chrome. Anything within Internet Explorer will now show up as a hyperlink. So once again, click to dial on the outgoing side is a simple click of a button. It'll ring back your phone. Once you go ahead and answer that call, then it'll go ahead and trigger the outgoing call. Now that I get connected, you'll see it pop open the new contact. And I'll go ahead and end those calls. Okay. So what you've seen there is a little bit of the difference between the feature functionality. Evolve wants to remain agnostic to which one we lead in the direction of. Understanding the customer's environment lends me to believe, or leads me into a position of, do I offer the integration utilizing the gUnify, or do I offer it utilizing the Go integrator? What's best for the customer? You can see that the time to develop and deliver to numerous CRMs when you do the automated call logging is a much slower time frame, and I've got to start with Salesforce. I've got to start with those that are web-based that play nice with Chrome, and now I can move on down to the next CRM in gUnify and continue to cut wood there. Okay, whereas Go Integrator, we can add CRMs at a much more rapid pace, given that we're actually not writing those automated records. Customers immediately want to spin things into their direction and their environment of different fields, custom objects in which they want us to write into, and that's what can really slow the development phase with the automated call logging. The third approach, API information. We have our BroadSoft API. We would then provide you the server and how to connect to that. We would spin up a DNS and a server name directly for each customer so that we can manage that and point it at our application servers that you would connect to be able to write your own events and tie it into your CRM exactly in the manner in which you wish. We can also offer partners that we've worked with in the past. Specifically, the number one that we recommend is RIS, R-I-I-S, that has developed a lot of CRM integration for the BroadSoft platform. Highly knowledgeable folks that are willing to work with you on a statement of work to develop for your environment and your requirements. With that approach of API, like I say, in the summertime, we will slim down the BroadSoft API to either monitor events or actionable events, like click to dial being actionable, monitor being I just need to look up caller ID information and provide a contact pop. We will provide the Evolve IT API documentation so that really we can slim that down and wrap it and put developers in a much more advantageous path for success because it doesn't have a lot of excess chatter. There you have it. We've laid out for you the benefits of CRM integration. More and more folks taking advantage of this. Certainly in the prospecting phase, it's key for us in winning new business. For our existing customers, this is why you take advantage of a hosted PBX as a service. As we make new applications available to you, we're targeting what's going to benefit your end users in productivity. How can it be easily launched and implemented? And then the third and final approach, if we can't do it out of the box, how can we enable you to go ahead and do that on your own? We're at roughly 28 minutes. My follow-up is going to send out an email to you. It'll recap what we talked about here. It's going to have a few links. One to a page in which you can go and request information based on your CRM. We want to offer you that discount for those of you that want to take advantage of this application. We can lock in the discount and also give you a 30-day trial on everything you've seen. And third and final, if you're interested in API information, it'll start the conversation with your technical advisor on how we can go about that. So I thank everyone for their time. What I'm going to do here, send out a follow-up email. You'll have my contact information. Any questions you may have, you can direct those towards me. They oftentimes are very specific to your environment. So rather than open this up on a bridge in which we have a lot of people talking about their specific CRM and their requirements, we will do so and engage in email any questions you may have for me. I'll get all your questions answered and we'll engage your technical advisor. Thanks everyone for joining the call. Have a great day.
The moderator has left the conference. The conference will now end.